Thank you, Owen. Indeed, back here in the studio after that first series. What an ending that game had. What a stress.
I didn't know.
Stressful ending.
I didn't know what was happening. Like, I was like, okay, Empire winning. Then, okay, they're not winning. Like, holy crap. Like, the amount of damage Mad was getting out with that Chaos Knight at the end of the game was absolutely insane. Like, he was tearing them apart.
Yeah. I actually thought they could have won faster if the Alchemist had a more survival-based build.
Okay.
The Radiance was nice. It let him farm a lot. But then Andy said, look, you just need HP now. And I wholly agree with that. Whether it was just a Heart Nex, or if you want more utility for the team, just get a Rod of Atos. That's HP. Anything.
When I saw that Monkey Freedom Fighters draft, I thought, okay, if they get the space to farm, they're going to be able to do well. 60 minutes in, you've got a Chaos Knight who's completely farmed out. You've got an Alchemist who's totally farmed out. You've got 4 Lincoln Spheres. I mean, they itemize so well that game. It's not often you see mass Lincoln strat like that, but when it works, man, it works.
Against Doom and Necro, though, you kind of...
It's so good.
Yeah, you kind of have to, though. What do you think about the Necro Knight not going Aghanims? What do you think about that?
I mean, was buyback a huge factor in that game, you think?
I think so, yeah.
I think it could have been, yeah.
If
towards the end it was,
if Mad didn't have a buyback at the end of the game, they just would win.
If you're going to have a game that's like an hour long, then yes, buyback makes a big difference.
I think it's worth buying. I mean, it's a pretty small investment, and it's a pretty damn big upgrade for Necro, especially towards the end of the game. It's about a 60-second cooldown. You can have 2 people stuck in the well without buyback. I don't know. It feels like a worthy cost to me.
I agree.
Right.
Okay, well, we actually have, or at least you have selected some highlights to watch, so it is time
this game was so hard to select
for a luminous analysis.
Okay, like before we had the bumper, this was a very hard game to select from because there wasn't any clear team fights. It was kind of chaotic running back and forth. So let's jump into the replays. And honestly, there's not going to be much drawing going on because it's just like running back and forth. Okay, so you see the Doom actually going on the Tusk, which honestly is not so bad because at this point, Tusk wasn't the big deal. So this fight, I just want you guys to really look at effing Mad and how much damage output he was, outputting. How much damage he was dealing out. Yeah. I think the biggest thing is you have to kill the CK illusions with the Echo, and if you don't, like...
He got a perfect Echo on all the illusions, but he just was too tanky at this stage of the game to do anything.
You need the Echo and like almost the Requiem as well.
I feel like the power curve of like Chaos Knight versus the Earthshaker is really weird.
Like he just went from 100% health down to 0. The double Requiem did actually kill everything though. But like doomed, effing Mad, and just stood outside a fountain. And then he realized, oh, my team needs me, so he had to win back to that fight.
The glimmer capes in this fight.
Possible. Maybe there was a way that Resolution didn't go back in. I thought there was a fight where he just stood in front of the fountain. I guess I chose the wrong play.
He BKBs.
Okay. Yeah, he BKB stood in front of I was like, oh, this is the right play. His team was doing stuff at this point, but then they were trying to get bot racks, so he ran back to help them. But I just don't think you needed Doom's damage there, right? Like, I think the team was doing enough damage. Team precisely being Shadow Fiend here.
This is when Mad comes back.
Yeah, right. And then Mad comes back and you're like, okay, well, the game's actually over.
He drops the hammer here.
Yeah, in comes the cavalry.
Like, the Echo Slam does 50% damage to the illusion.
And then you have the Requiems to finish off. Yeah. You have to use everything on it.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's like, in the mid-game, the Echo is really scary against all the illusions, but once the Chaos Knight has all that HP, it's just not enough damage.
I mean, at the beginning, you guys talk about how Chaos Knight needs a couple items and he becomes essentially God mode, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is what we're watching here.
Maybe the best.
Like, there is just no way you could stop a CK.
Yeah. And then on top of that, even if you do stop him, you still have this Alchemist who's super tanky, regenning like crazy with Abyssal, MKB, Assault Karas. I mean, he was dealing some serious damage at the end of that.
Yeah, and talking about the Chaos Knight, we have the chance to talk to the Chaos Knight player this time for the winner's interview with Bucking Mad. I don't know if I'm allowed to say fucking Mad. Good evening, Seb. Congratulations on your matches.
Good evening.
Hello.
So, thank you.
So you had a nice Chaos Knight game. Tell us about that hero. What's his role gonna be the next few months?
I think that hero's very strong. I think he's gonna be back in the metagame. Not only because of the buff he got, which is actually nice and like pretty big. I mean, bigger than what it says, because it buffs the ulti damage, obviously. Minus armor on a high physical damage hero already with so many illusions, etc. And I think it's just good in the meta because he's a strong laner and he's a strong carry at fighting early on. And with all those tanky monsters, carries are going to have a really hard time in the next patch. And CK is one of them that can actually fight back.
So Seb, you've been playing like support since like as far as I can remember in Dota 2, basically.
Yeah.
And I was wondering like what caused the change for you to go to carry, and how are you finding it affects like your mentality in a game? Like,
I guess I felt that I wasn't challenged enough as a player, as a person. I don't know. I just needed to be challenged more, and this is a big challenge for me, and that's what I needed. I was losing motivation because I don't feel like I was challenged enough. That's pretty much it. And not that I'm not talking about like opponents and stuff, just the level at which we're playing and everything. I don't know. I just needed something new challenges, and
get the passion back, like.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And carry is definitely, it helps. I could have got the passion back with supports with in different circumstances, but right now carry works better. I'm glad I got the chance, and the chance was given to me by my teammates. That's like, I mean, I'm very grateful because obviously role swapping is not always easy to do, but it's done, so.
It seems to be working.
For now.
Yeah, definitely worked. Today.
Well, yeah, today it worked fine. I mean, we'll see. It's early.
I think I got a question about Alchemist in regards to farming Aghanim Scepters.
Yeah.
I think the first time I ever remember that actually happening was when you were back in Alliance. Playing against the Alchemist that farmed an Ag for a Weaver.
Why would you remind me this?
I mean, it was an important time where Alliance didn't.
Why you do this to me?
I'm sorry, but I do want to ask, like, what is the right occasion? When is the right occasion for an Alchemist?
That's a very tough question. Yeah. I mean, even in game, it's really hard to assess because, okay, to my understanding, I'm more in favor of Alchemist giving very early Ags, because I think that some Ags upgrade can actually turn a game completely, and I don't really care about the SNY on Alki, or, I mean, I feel that hero anyway, it's like this, he's in ulti form, he's tanky. He's gonna tank damage and force people to cast spells on him, a lot of spells if they want to take him down. And if they actually want to take him down, I feel like they will take him down. I think that counting on Alchemist surviving slightly on the edge and stuff like this, it's not a good plan to take a fight. And I'd rather see, for example, you play with Night Stalker support, or I don't know, even Treant support, those Ags upgrade. If you actually give them an Ags 15 minutes in, and just farm a bit more, they give you space to farm up, you know what I mean? Like the next item on Alchemist with their Ags. And the pace of the game is completely different. So I'm pretty sure that Aki giving Ags very early is viable.
So but, in regards to this game, like when was somebody saying, all right, we should get an Ag on AA now?
I felt as soon as they would start pushing, then we should have had an Ags on AA in case they wanted to pressure, which they didn't, and I think they should have. But then I feel at that point, an Ags on AA would do more than an extra item on Alchemist. Assuming he already has like AC and some HP item. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. So the last thing I wanted to ask you about, how are you finding this new state of Dota with the majors, the roster lock? What's the dynamic with your team? Was it stressful trying to get a team put together with kind of a tight deadline after TI5?
Yeah, it is very stressful, especially because it was the first time as well. Not that it changed anything, but it's just, you know, a new thing for every player. Mm-hmm. So the behavior and the reactions can be different in those conditions. It's a bit stressful, but I think it's heading the right way. It forces people to be more professional, to work on their problems, which is something people already like. I feel like so many teams disbanded because they just run away from issues, and I feel that it's going to happen less, and that can only be a good thing, in my opinion.
Very cool. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Seb, for the time that we were able to take from you. I wish you a very good evening, and we'll see you again in the Dream League later on. And yeah, have a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You too.
And that, of course, was Sebastian or fucking Mad from Monkey Freedom Fighters. We should have asked where the name came from. But that was only the first series of tonight. We have a second series waiting for you, and it's going to be the Battle of the Swedes. So it is time to go into a quick break before our last series of the night.